The NCAA Division I Women's Hockey Championship is played since 2001 and is the most followed women's ice hockey league in the world. We see some great attendance averages across the league, with Wisconsin averaging over 2,200 people per game. The players don't get paid, but they get awarded some great scholarships to go to these great schools, such as Harvard, Princeton, Yale, and so on. There's 18 scholarships per team, which need to be divided between the players. And since the schools cost over $60,000 or $70,000 per year, players need to be prepared to pay to play in most cases. These costs can also be offset by financial aid or other academic scholarships. Overall, the NCAA Division I is the best place to be in women's hockey. Our next interview will be with Nadia Mattivi. Nadia is an Italian hockey player which now plays in the College Hockey League for Boston University. Throughout her career, she also played in the Swedish League. So it's going to be interesting to see how she found her way from Italy to the College League. Hi Nadia, thank you for being here with us today.
Hi Martin, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, so our first question will be, please describe your hockey career up to now.
So I've been playing boys hockey pretty much my entire life. I started playing women's hockey at the age of 13, but I've always tried to play both. And my first girls team was Eagles South Tyrol in Bolzano, and with them I played in both Serie A, which is the first and only women's hockey league in Italy, and in the EWHL, which is the European Women's Hockey League. I've been playing with them for a couple of years, and then at the age of 17 I moved to Linköping, which is a small city in Sweden, to play in the SDHL, which is the top women's league there. I played with them for 1 year, and then I got back to Italy. I moved back to Italy to get my diploma so that I could eventually go to college. And during my last year here in Italy, I mostly played with a U19 boys team, but I also played a couple of games with Alleghe Hockey Girls, which also plays in the Serie A. And since last September, I've been playing for Boston University.
Yeah, so how exactly did you get recruited by Boston University? Did you contact the team, or did the team contact you? How did that work?
Yeah, so for a European female player, especially if you're from Italy or a country where hockey is not a big thing, you don't have a lot of international visibility. However, if you do well and you're able to play at international levels, I don't know, with your national team, for example, or in a more known league, coaches and recruiters will eventually catch up, like see you play and reach out. Another option, which a lot of European players usually adopt, is sending videos of themselves playing hockey to coaches. Personally, I never reached out to colleges. In fact, until 4 years ago, I didn't even know what NCAA was. I knew very little. And I've been very lucky because colleges started contacting me after U18 Worlds in 2017. I was playing with my national team and I had a good tournament, and colleges started reaching out. 2 years later, I had different options and different colleges I could go to, and one of the top options was Boston University. However, talking to coaches and on the phone and looking up pictures of the campus online was not enough, or at least it wasn't for me. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. That's why I decided to go to the US a few summers ago to visit some schools. I was interested and with my own eyes, and once I got to Boston, I fell in love right away with the city, with the facilities, with the staff, and I knew right away that it was the right program and right school for me. So I don't know if I would have made the same decision if I didn't go to visit. So if I can give a piece of advice, visiting schools is the only way to understand what you really want, and it's gonna help you make the right decision.
Now that you're in the NCAA, how is it to be a student athlete, your daily life with school and hockey, and how to organize both of them?
Yeah, so being a student athlete may be quite challenging at the beginning because you need to settle in, you need to plan your days so you have time to study. But once you get used to it, it's pretty easy. If you're organized and have a schedule, you'll be fine. For example, my day at Boston University would look like this. I usually wake up around 7, 8 a.m. I go to class. I usually have 2 to 4 classes in the morning. I have lunch, and then after lunch, I have an hour or two to do homework, study, or write a paper. And after that, I usually have practice from 2:30 to 5:30. And after that, I study for a couple of hours. I have dinner, and after that, I usually hang out with friends unless I have an exam coming up or have to write a paper. So a student athlete life makes you a very busy person, but it's definitely manageable, especially if you have a purpose. And I still find absurd how how school and hockey go hand to hand in the U.S. In Italy, it's not like that. It's very challenging. Like if you want to study and play hockey at the same time, it's very hard. And being in a program like Boston University, where they support you both academically and athletically, is amazing.
Is the Women's Division One Hockey League pretty competitive, also during the practices, or is it more a free time thing?
I think it's very serious because we practice every day. We spend 4 to 5 hours a day playing hockey, and all the girls that I played with and that I play now with, they're not doing just for fun. Like they have a purpose. They play because they want to become better hockey players and they want to keep playing hockey after college. Division One hockey is really competitive and it's a really good level. So I feel like coaches and the staff and all the hockey program expect from you a lot. And to do that, you need to be serious about it. You need to behave like a professional, even if you don't get paid. And you put a lot of time in it, and it's important to take it seriously. So personally, I think it's very serious, and I have a purpose. I definitely want to keep playing hockey after, and yeah, it's definitely something that I take very seriously.
How can you compare the NCAA Women's Hockey League to other leagues in Europe, Sweden, or Italy, and so on?
Yeah, so I've been playing different women's leagues, and I gotta say that the Swedish First League, called SDHL, is getting better and better every year. I know that a lot of players from North America go play there after college. There are 10 teams, which are all very, very good, and that's what makes the league very competitive. Some teams also offer a salary, car, a job. So it's definitely one of the best women's leagues in the world. Compared to Division One hockey, women's Division One hockey, I would say that the SDHL has more experienced players and it's a little more physical. However, I think Division One hockey looks and seems faster because the ice is smaller, so a player would have less time to think. But these two leagues are both very good, and there are a lot of players that play for the national teams and that are considered one of the best players in the world. I've also played in the Serie A, which is the first league in Italy, and the EWHL, which is the European or Elite Women's Hockey League. The Italian league is very limited. There are only 5 teams, and the amount of games that are played is very small, 15 to 20 games a year. However, there is definitely room for improvement. There is need of more players and more resources to make the league more competitive. The UWHL, on the other hand, is pretty good. There are 11 teams from all over Europe, specifically Hungary, Austria, Italy, Poland, Kazakhstan, Slovenia, and others. And I know that a lot of players, Division One players, go there and play after college because the level is really good and a lot of traveling is involved too. That's what makes it challenging because usually players from that league have to work or study, and traveling on a bus or a plane for hours every week is definitely time consuming. There are also other leagues in Europe, such as the German one or the Austrian one. They're pretty good. They're all improving, which is good because it means that women's hockey is growing. However, there are still big discrepancies between men's and women's women's hockey and women's salaries. We all know that the PWHPA, which is the professional women's hockey players association, yeah, was founded just a year ago. Was fighting for a more sustainable professional league for women's hockey, and we all hope that their hard work and the hard work of like all the female players in the world will be repaid in a very near future.
Now, you still got 3 years of college hockey in front of you, but do you have already an idea of what you want to do after your hockey career in the college level?
Yeah, so well, I have 3 more years to play in the NCAA, so I'm not really looking yet where to play afterwards, but I've been thinking about it, of course. And after college, I definitely want to keep playing hockey, and at the same time, I want to continue my studies or find a job and start working. And the easiest way to do this is definitely staying in the United States, so I'm thinking about that, or move somewhere else like Sweden, where the hockey is pretty good. Um, in Sweden, it also offers good master's programs, and it's closer to home, so I'm considering that too. But my first option is definitely staying in the United States. But 3 years are a lot, so we'll see where I'll end up.
Also, looking back, how can you compare the hockey world in hockey and the boys world in hockey? How was it to play in a boys team versus a girls team?
Yeah. Okay. So I've been playing boys hockey my entire life, as I said, and it's definitely more physical. I played U19 boys last year, and I had to be very careful because boys hit very hard, and if you're not careful, like you get hurt. So the physicality is definitely one aspect that is very different from women's hockey. Another aspect is definitely how quick boys are. They're faster. Their shots are faster. The hockey game in general is quicker, so you need to think faster. But at the same time, women's hockey, especially in Division 1 hockey, the ice is smaller, and it might sound stupid, but it's really hard at the beginning to get used to it, because since the ice is so small, it's much smaller. You have like less time to think, and I think that boys hockey really helped me with that. But other than that, I would say that women's hockey is as interesting as boys hockey. We make very good plays. We make smart plays. It's really fun to watch, and personally, I prefer playing women's hockey because I don't know. I think women's hockey, maybe you have a little bit more time to think, and it makes it not easier, but more fun to play.
So how about everything else but the hockey? Like being in the locker room, were you accepted by the boys, and yeah, how did it feel as a team?
Yeah. So the atmosphere in a boys' locker room is definitely different than in a women's one, only because of the fact that when I played boys team, I had my separate locker room, so I didn't really live the experience of being in the same locker room. I definitely love being in the locker room with my current team at Boston University. We are such an amazing group, and just talking to your teammates before practice, having fun. It's probably one of the best parts about playing hockey, and I missed that a lot while I was playing boys hockey. That's probably why I prefer playing women's hockey too. And the locker room is a big part, and the atmosphere in general. So yeah. The boys always accepted me. I'm a really extrovert person. I talk a lot. I don't have any problem with them. Any problems with them? They've always accepted me. They've always respected me. So you also need to make yourself respected. And sometimes it's hard, but especially when you're young. But the older you are, the easier it gets.
What would you say to a young hockey girl? Should she play with the boys or rather with the girls?
Yeah. So I would definitely suggest you play both as long as it's manageable. I've done in my entire life. Especially if you're from Italy, the level in Italy, women's hockey league is not. The women's hockey league is good, but it's not that good. And I would suggest to play both, because you both need to become a better athlete technically, but you also need to become a better player and a better person, and you learn that by staying with your teammates in the locker room, off the ice, and I would tell a little girl to try to do both, because you can benefit from both of them.
Yeah, that was it from our part. Thank you very much, Nadia, for being here again.
Thank you, Martin.
Okay, good luck for the season. Bye.